expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of ownership, management, or advertisers of this station. Save space. Community. Conversation. Connection. Save space. With your host, Sincerely Syreeta. Right now on Word Radio. 96.1 FM. And 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
On nights like this I ride, turn the music up to keep from crying. Wait till that sunshine. Please don't let the darkness keep me low halfway to the home base, yeah. Like a field trip, whoa, it's a real trip. And over your head, it's a guilt trip, yeah. To the south side, wow, it's a real trip. It's not a quick trip. It stays with ya, love taxes, it's a real trip. On nights like this I ride, turn the music up to keep from crying. Wait till the sunshine. Please don't let the darkness keep me low halfway to the home base, yeah. Like a field trip, whoa, it's a real trip. I'm asking who can save me? You can't bait me, you can't bait me. Who can save me? Know that you can't bait me. You could, baby. We'll be riding, trying to conquer the world, but
Hello, 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 loves. You are tuned in to WURD Radio. This is Safe Space, and I'm your host, Sincerely Syreeta. Today is Monday. Stop. Today is Monday, May 24th, 2021. It's a perfect day to turn our intentions into action through conversation. Shout out to all the folks who are ready to do just that. Those of you who are tuned in on 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming Word TV on wordradio.com, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, all of that good stuff. And of course, everyone who is listening in crystal clear on the free Word app, which is available in the Apple app and Google Play Store. So make sure you go on ahead and download that if you have not already. If you are tuned in on Word TV via Facebook Live, you already know the deal. Okay, tap the share button, start a watch party. Y'all know we don't just save space. Okay, we take it up, we own it, we do all that and more, especially in these internet streets. Okay, I am back from vacay. Just so y'all know, none of that is coordinated. So I don't know when the claps are coming, but I'm back from vacay and so very thankful to be here with you all today. It is a blessing because I know that just in 1 week, life can change for a lot of folks. I have seen life change for a lot of folks in the past week that I've been out. And so I count it all a blessing to still be here. To still be able to do the work that I've been called to do, and to, just get back to it. And I'm super thankful for the break. I didn't miss y'all. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I committed myself to vacationing. That was it. I said, Syreeta, do not do any work. Like if you got to do anything, you got to keep it light, but try not to do the most. And I actually was successful in that. So, anybody.
Well, you don't see that every day.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. You don't see that every day. And so anybody who I owe something to, well, I'll see you later this week. That's about it. Because, Mondays, when you first come back off of vacation, it's still you adjusting. So I'll see you, tomorrow, day after, sometime this week, and we'll get a handle. And, I'm going to get it done. But I really was trying to be mindful and not working, because what I realized in being able to sit still for a prolonged period of time was that I have not, even in a pandemic where we were forced have been forced to sit still for the safety of ourselves, our families, our loved ones, all of that. Um, that I really I was sitting still, but my mind and my spirit all too often were not. So whatever level of relaxation or disconnecting that you think you may have been doing, it is to be commended, okay? Because we have all been trying to do what we can in this pandemic and to, keep ourselves and our families and our loved ones, our friends, etc., moving forward or at minimum staying the course, right? Um, but I will say that I don't think any of it to a degree has been as healthy as it should or could be. So if you have not taken a break, if you have vacation days available to you, if you have grief time or whatever it is that you need, sick day, whatever it is, right? If you have that available to you, I really need you to sit and be honest with yourself about what you need right now, in terms of not just self-care, but spiritual care, physical care, like any of those things, because we cannot underestimate the kind of trauma that we have collectively been experiencing on so many different fronts. And I will say, I say a week, but with the show, it's really 4 days, right? I do 4 days, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. So it's 4 days technically here on the show, but taking that time off really showed me how much I needed that time off. And, we save space for the truth. And the truth is, I need us to be honest with ourselves about whether or not we are keeping on because that's what we think we're supposed to do, because that's what we think the organization or the job or the this or the that or the family or the you fill in the blank needs us to do, versus what you need you to do. Okay. What you need you to do may look very different from what everyone else needs you to do. And if it does, that is okay. That is totally okay. I'm glad I took that vacation. I'm glad I completely, for the most part, unplugged in a way that I did and just lived my life, because that is something that to a degree I have not necessarily been able to do in the way in which I was able to do it, and taking a vacation. So I have stories, I have reflections, I have all of that kind of stuff, that I will share likely in a 7:30, segment. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But I do want to send a very special thank you to Tiffany Bacon, to Charles Ellison, to my girl Kayla J, for holding it down as I practiced the self-care that I so often talk about, but needed to kind of step it up in a different way for myself, for my family, and to celebrate a family member who I love dearly. And so that all made it possible for me to be able to step back and know that, the Word family was holding it down and could keep it going, which I didn't doubt for 1 second while I was out. So I'm so thankful for them. And there is a lot to talk about. But first, the phone lines are open. And I need to hear from my folks. I need to hear from you all. So please do call in. Let me know how you've been. What news stories have been or are on your mind right now, or answer the, of course, Motivation Monday question of the day, which is, what is motivating you this week? Right? That's how we start our week. We want to know what's motivating you. So I want to hear from y'all. Please do call in. Let me know how you've been. Let me know what's motivating you. The hotline number is 215-634-8065. Again, that is 215-634-8065. You can also call in toll free, 866-361-0900. Again, 866-361-0900. I see some folks already joining us via our Facebook live stream. Shout out to Muhammad. Shout out to Malcolm. I love seeing y'all joining us. Kayla J. Hey, girl. Hey, how you been?
I missed you.
I miss you.
You didn't miss me. You said you didn't miss me.
I didn't miss. You know what I meant. You know what I meant, though. You know what I meant. That I did. Okay, what I'm saying is I didn't miss the responsibility, you know, of the job.
Uh-huh,
But
uh-huh, uh-huh.
I miss. I did miss you.
I missed you too. I did. I missed you too. Every day, it would say "Save Space" with sincerely Syreeta, and the person would come back and say, "I'm Tiffany Bacon," and
I'm
guess
t-
what? And have
shout out to you. Shout out
but
to
she did a good job. And then the person would say, "I'm Charles Ellison. This is your word on
you.
politics," and I was like,
Holding it down.
not my
Don't do
girl.
my
But
folks like that.
no,
Don't
no,
do
no,
my
no,
folks
no.
like
But
that.
they know they held it down. They had good shows. I was just saying that was me missing you.
Yeah.
That's all. That was just me missing you because I had a hard week last week, and usually I come in your face and our jokes and shenanigans. They help me get over the hump. Like it was hump day, and I didn't tell nobody hump day. Like the crazy thing was, I wanted to call you on hump day and say hump day, but that was actually the day that my mentor passed away, so I couldn't even muster up a hump day for myself.
Oh my goodness.
But I did. I had it all planned Tuesday night. I was like, I can't wait. I'm a voice message to read it tomorrow, and I'm like, it's hump day. And I was gonna say some other stuff too that I can't say on air. But
Yeah, we ain't got that.
but I was like, yeah. But I'm excited you're back. I appreciate everybody that held it down last week. We had a good time. We did miss you. The folks missed you, girl. But we did have a good time. They really did hold it down, and I am
Yeah.
happy that you're back though.
I'm thankful I
Face.
can do something like that because of someone like you who even in the midst of pain and tragedy can still hold it down, can still get it done. And I do want to touch base about that. You know, I already sent you a text. Listen, we already, although I wasn't like business, I was checking in. With Kayla J last week and today. I did not listen to, I'm gonna be completely transparent with you all. When I say I unplugged, I didn't listen to anything last week. I did not like when I'm talking about emails, whatever, I tried to disconnect as much as I possibly could, which that in itself was a challenge. But I don't even like that we've created a culture. And when I say we, because I feel like I need to take some ownership in that myself, but that we've created a culture where saying that you're taking time off or saying that, sharing that you're just focused on living your life is this somewhat of an announcement? I don't even know, but that doesn't feel good to me. That tells me that I think we need to really rethink the way in which we show up in our professional and our personal lives, and that maybe it shouldn't be so much about balance as much as it is about integration, and especially for our community. And when I say our community, I mean the Black community, that all our lives, and if you know what I'm quoting, but like all my life, right? Like that sentiment that all our lives we have been working. When we're not working physically or through labor or through whatever else the case may be, we are still working in whatever space we are in, to balance being who we are versus who the world thinks we should be, versus, like all these different things. Um, and it's a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot. I vacationed, just FYI, in Virginia Beach. Had an amazing time. Really didn't go out much, which was awesome. It was awesome. We were right near the beach, and because it's slightly like off season, we were able to, the one time actually that I went to the beach, we were able to just be completely distanced from anybody else. And that was dope and a blessing. But what that vacation showed me is that, among other things, um, there's a lot that we have to process on any given day, whether we're working or not, as Black people, as people of color. And so when we talk about self-care, when we talk about vacation, when we talk about even dealing with grief and whatever else the case may be, we can't just approach that like it's just, the run of the mill, right? We can't just approach that like it's just this everyday thing. We always have to, honestly, approach life and practice a certain level of diligence and awareness in a way in which I'm not entirely sure that others do in America. And so I think that's important to keep in mind. And so when we're talking about self-care, when we're talking about taking time off or just taking, time for our loved ones, that's real, y'all. That's real. And I know all of us cannot, afford or whatever else the case may be to take a week off of work or to, take a few days off of work. And I really want to encourage any of us where like that may be the case, to lean on who we can. And that may mean for some of us to let go of feeling to be in need of control for so many other things. That may be the moment where we need to let go and let God, or let they, or let whomever we trust enough to be able to step back and hold it down, that colleague, that whatever, so that we can take care of ourselves. Because there is no way that we can talk about liberation, that we can talk about all that our people have been through, and then not also give that same energy to the time that's needed for us to focus on personal healing, and not just healing in such a way where it's just about me, right? Or you, but us. So we're going to talk about liberation. If we're going to talk about, freedom, if we're going to talk about, those kinds of things, then we also have to talk about what does it mean for us to enact that, to live that on a daily basis. And I think that's why tomorrow is so important, beyond the very reason that tomorrow's special programming at WURD Radio is happening, right? So Tuesday, May 25th, marks the 1-year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd, which sparked worldwide protest against systemic oppression, police brutality, you name it. And so Word Radio is going to commemorate this milestone with what we're calling a day of healing. And the funny part about that is we know healing doesn't come in a day. If you've ever lost anyone, and let me correct that. If you've ever had anyone who has transitioned, if you ever had to let something or someone go, you know that one day is simply not enough to heal, right? What we know here at Word is that we have a platform and we have time, space, and opportunity to honor his life, to honor his family, to honor our community, to bring awareness and education and whatever else we can bring on that day to any and everyone who is listening. And so that is where our efforts and our intentions are coming from, right? So we know it's not just a day of healing, but it's the day that we want to take intentionally in focusing on healing. We talk a lot about that here on Save Space, on other shows and all of that good stuff. And shout out to all of my fellow hosts. But this day-long reflection, which is going to happen again tomorrow, Tuesday, May 25th, will feature interviews, panel discussions. We're talking with some of Philly's most prolific artists, activists, community organizers, entrepreneurs, healers, and historians. And we're looking to feature a conversation with 3 generations of artists, activists, warrior women, Sonia Sanchez, Ursula Rucker, and Kai Davis. That is going to kick off at 1 p.m. tomorrow. So please make sure you stay tuned for that. I follow all of these women. I believe I got to double check Sonia Sanchez. I got to double check because I know, like, I got, whether it's Facebook or IG, you know, sometimes you got to cross reference. But I know Ursula and I just recently had a beautiful, beautiful exchange on Instagram. So sending all love to her, to all of these amazing women. But that conversation is going to kick off at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. So please make sure you are locked in, tuned in to WURD Radio on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, wordradio.com, the Word app, Word TV via Facebook Live, YouTube, wherever you're at. That's where we at. That's where you can find us at, and make sure you let your folks know to tune in, because tomorrow, quite honestly, it's just not any other day. And we don't want to treat it like it's just any other day. We say Black Lives Matter because one Black life is just not any other life, right? Like we put our value where our love and our intention is. And so with that said, tomorrow is special. Tomorrow is also a day of mourning. It's a lot. And so we're saving space for that, for what we need to do and what we need to be to each other and to ourselves together. So please do join us for that. And with that said, going to go ahead, take a quick break, but the phone lines are open. So please do call in, join the conversation. Let me know how y'all are. I just want to hear you. I want to, if I can, I know we got Joanna Jane that's going to join us in the 8 p.m. hour. So hopefully, I think I'll be seeing her, and I can't wait to do that as well. But call in 215-634-8065, toll free 866-361-0900. Again, both of those numbers, 215-634-8065 and toll free 866-361-0900. When we come back on the other side, I'm gonna tell, you know, I like storytelling. I'm gonna tell some stories from vacay, and you know, some of what I gathered from it and what I hope you'll take away from my own experiences, and let me know what's motivating you this week. All right, you're tuned in to Safe Space on WURD Radio, and we'll be back after these messages.
Olaniyan Adefume's goal is to assist families and students that are tired of the destructive input by the coronavirus. If you are interested in a math tutor, Olaniyan is offering small, reasonably priced classes that will focus on the PSSA test. Classes start June 21st. The students will have lessons, tests, homework, and a textbook to keep with PSSA exercises and explanations. Knowledge is power. Call Olaniyan Adefume, 215-678-3830 for pricing information and location. The Mattress Man is a second-generation family-owned mattress specialist business since 1988. Open 7 days a week, located at 7421 Stanton Avenue. The Mattress Man discounts Serta, memory foam, orthopedic, and ComfortTech mattresses every day. You deal directly with the owner, Julian, to ensure you get the best price and best service. The Mattress Man offers same-day delivery on most models to most areas. Ask about the word discount. Call 215-424-5550.
The Black Words Book Club. Word Radio's conversation on books that explore the African American experience through social, economic, and environmental justice issues. Tune in the second Tuesday of every month on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. The next book for June is Taught by Women, Poems as Resistance Language by Hakeem Adabuti. Be sure to listen live, as Nick Taliaferro will hold a contest for a giveaway book bundle that consists of 4 titles from Kensington's Defina's Authors of Color's newest release. Don't miss it, Tuesday, June 8th on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Attention for Word members. Get your copy and receive a 20% discount when you purchase at Harriet's Bookstore or Hakeem's Bookstore. For more information on the Black Words Book Club, visit wordradio.com. The Black Words Book Club is sponsored by Defina. Defina is an imprint of Kensington Publishing Corporation, America's independent publisher, concentrating on authors of color. Save Space with Sincerely Syreeta. Sincerely Syreeta. Right now on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent, Black Media.
Meet me outside of my palace. Don't need no approval, girl, you valid. Let's make out rap on my violence. Don't watch me do it, close your eyelids. Inside town is inside. Inside town is inside. My dog. Inside town is inside. Inside town is inside. My dog. Damn, now we moving kinda fast. It's cool, I guess we get a pass. I'ma kiss your neck and grab your ass. And when I do it, I'ma make it laugh. Yeah, inside town is inside. Inside town is inside. My dog. Inside town is inside. Inside town.
You are back listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. I'm your host, sincerely, Syreeta, back from vacation. Yes, y'all, took vacation. Okay. The words of Kevin Hurt. All right. Okay. It was a good time. It was a good time. Let me just be completely transparent and say, I went to Virginia Beach, right? We got a private home in Virginia Beach, rented that joint out. Okay. It was nice. It was nice. You know, had a little elevator and like all that kind of stuff. And enough of us cook. We do the cooking thing for real. So that was good. We didn't really have to eat out at all. But for anyone who is moving towards traveling at this particular time, or maybe even in the summer, and you've been, quarantining or just, laying low, you've been laying low, just know that's not how the rest of the world is necessarily operating, especially when you get to certain states or countries. Which, some of y'all already been out here living your best lives, doing what you're doing, getting it how you're getting it, and that is what it is. But for me, it was definitely a moment like where I had to really think about, what am I looking to do? What do I feel comfortable with? Because Virginia is pretty much an open state. Okay. There was places we were going where you don't have to wear masks. You don't, it's just not the same energy that Philly gives. And it showed, and I felt it. A lot of us felt it, and we were like, yeah, no. Prime example, we had an issue, minor issue that popped up at the house, right? And so we needed some assistance with the management company to handle that. And I don't know why God worked it out the way that God worked it out, but we're a house full of Black folk, right? Black folk who ain't, for the most part, been playing about this pandemic. Okay. Like I'm saying, you talk about vaccinations. If you didn't get the vaccination, all right, make sure you got tested or get tested at any. You know what I mean? Like we've been on that. We were on that type time. There was a moment where a man walked up the steps. We wasn't expecting him to be where he was at, how he was being, where he was at, and was maskless. And we were like, I mean, we were, cooking, music blasting. Y'all know how we do when we in our zone. We about to eat. Whoa, whoa, dun, 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 dun. We're having a good time. Stop it. Wait a minute. How can we help you? Everybody mask getting paid. Wait a minute. What's going on? It literally was like any kind of reenactment that you have seen on social media was that moment. It was that moment. Everything got shut down. It was like, hold on. Where your mask at, bro? What's happening? What you doing? Where you going? Because it's not any further than where you're at. Okay, because he was beyond 6 feet, but it was just like, what is this about? And so we had to shut it all down. Like, just mask up, converse and get clarity on what was happening. They, went on to respect the space and what we needed to have done. But it was one of those moments where it was like, all right, if you're going to be moving about because the world is reopening, any of us that have appreciated or enjoyed or just been here for being able to stay indoors, or being able to move in a different way where it allows for distance, or whatever else the case may be. I need you to know that the shift is happening. I want you to prepare yourself, and I want you to be very mindful about where you choose to vacation, right? And who you're choosing to vacation with. I think that's also important, because if you're not ready to go to restaurants, if you're not ready to, potentially be at a vacation home where, if the water pressure isn't right or something like that, um, you may need to call maintenance from the management company or whatever else the case may be. You may have somebody coming into your space in a state or a country where they're fully open. And if you're not ready or thinking about how you need to navigate that, that is going to induce anxiety. That's going to throw you off a little bit. So please thoroughly think through whether you are ready for a vacation, whether you're ready to, get back out into the world. Because even here in Philly, and in surrounding states, we know that things are opening up. We know that the shift is happening. I believe in PA, we're beyond 50% of folks vaccinated. Nationwide, I think we're at 39.6% of folks that are vaccinated, which is, that's awesome. I know a lot of us are still not there yet in terms of getting vaccinations, whether it feels right for us or not. And it's no judgment either way. And even if you do have a vaccination or you don't have a vaccination, it does not change the fact that you still need to move smart, right? That you still need to think about what does it look like for you to go out to eat? What does it look like for you to go to a movie theater or for you to go to XYZ? You fill in a blank based on what you like to get into, boo. Like what does that look like? I'm sharing this because I don't want you to find yourself in that moment and you have to make the decision in that moment when you haven't had the time to think through it, right? That's important. So if you are going to be taking vacations or, hanging with your folks or going to graduation parties, shout out to our 2021 graduates, all of that great stuff. You got to think about that, because some folks are with it and it's not a big deal, but I know some of us are not. And so with that being the case, really try to think through what you feel comfortable and don't feel comfortable with at this time, even if it's with family, friends, etc. Right? Because I know a lot of us, one thing I've noticed with the pandemic is that it's been a lesson on boundaries. I feel like the pandemic has definitely been a lesson on boundaries and whether or not you maintain them, what it looks like to maintain them, what it feels like to maintain them. Um, it's been all of that, right? And a lot of that for a lot of us has been uncomfortable. And so knowing that the world is opening back up, right? That we're starting to see kind of the speed increase, things are, they're picking up. Definitely check in with yourself to see what you need to feel comfortable and to properly guide yourself and others into that space of not only being safe, but also being able to be present for those important moments that are happening, or thinking about what it looks like for you to be present in those important moments. Maybe it's not necessarily you being at that dinner at that restaurant, but it may be you doing that FaceTime, sending that gift, whatever else the case may be. You gotta figure out what's going to work for you in the midst of this transition, because if you have not realized, a transition is happening. I got to keep it 100 with you. Transition is happening. States are reopening. Mask restrictions in a lot of states, US side, are being rolled back. And so you got to figure out what that means for you, what that looks like for you, and what those conversations are going to have to look like for you with folks that you're either vacationing with or that you live with or whatever else the case may be. So just things that I would encourage us to be mindful about, because the last thing you want is to already be in the space or already be at the vacation or whatever else the case may be, and you have to figure it out in that moment. I'm thankful that I was around folks that I know we a lot, like all of us, took those precautions, whether it was getting vaccinated or making sure we were staying on top of our testing, whatever it may be. That was something that was a priority for everyone who was family, because it was a family vacation, who wanted to take that time away with each other, and also were aware that we were in a state where it was far more open than PA was, than Pennsylvania was, because it is very different when you walking into stores or whatever else the case may be, and it's not operating like it operates where you're from. I will also say that the Target down in Virginia Beach was popping. I got some really cute stuff down there. So anywho, that doesn't matter. Just want to say though, think about that, right? Anywho, phone lines are open. 215-634-8065 and toll free 866-361-0900. Let me know how you been, how you doing, what's on your mind, what news stories have been on your radar, because let me tell y'all, I have been keeping my eye on that. And there's quite a bit that I saw and I did not see it all. So would love for you all to, let's catch each other up. But I think we may still have a caller on the line. I'm gonna check in with Kayla J first. Kayla J, where we at on the phone lines?
Yeah, let's take our calls, man.
Okay, let's go to line 1. Is that Friendly Fred that we have on line 1?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's going on?
Oh, no, I just want to, for Highway family, hey, Syreeta, everyone. I just want to, Ron, right quick, it's a short version. Okay, I just want to say, I'm flying high on a feeling, and I'm taken to the sky on a natural high. See, I'm zooming like the Commodores. That's when they told me that the town was yours. So get on up and get on down, girl. Shake your rump to the beat of my funk. Because the beat of my funk is the beat of your groove. It's the funky beat that makes your body groove with all the joy and happiness to say, bringing all the laughter. Everybody feeling good inside, knowing that tomorrow is going to be a better way, making a brighter day so we can bring back what was meant to be. One nation under a groove, everybody feeling happy and free. And music is the healing force of the world.
Thank you, Friendly Fred. Thank you, Friendly Fred. That good energy to start our week. And I don't know, it feels very timely for the space of transition that we're in with the world reopening. But hopefully also, we got a lot. I know it's tough for many of us to believe this, but we do have a lot to be thankful for. We are transitioning into a new season, and with that, comes summer, comes Black folks doing summer is only we could do, and so I'm appreciative, Friendly Fred, for that message that you just brought us and that energy that you just came with. I'm taking that with me, and I appreciate you for that. Let's go to Cliff on line 2. Cliff, what's going on? How are you?
It's just glad to have you back, and your girl held it down, so it's all good. Listen,
I'm not surprised. I knew she would.
Yeah, listen, you just said that we are transitioning into a new season. So what would be that season in your opinion?
I think that depends on what level we're looking at it from. Of course, there's the spiritual, there's the physical, there's all of those things. But in terms of like big picture, when I say transitioning into that new season, it definitely is, acknowledging that in terms of the pandemic, we're transitioning into a time and a season where there's this reopening of quote unquote outside, right? Where that is happening. But how are you interpreting it? Just so I'm clear.
Yeah, I agree with the concept or with the phrase, but I look a little deeper, and I'm just putting together and see what makes any sense, the puzzle and the pieces of this puzzle, because just recently, and I'm just giving you an example, and you let me know your thoughts on this, and maybe your listeners hang up. They're revealing, and this is nothing new to us, from as ancient people, as the original people of this planet. They are revealing there's new information that there are existence of UFOs. Now you're starting to see the government coming out and actually on CNN, on the news media, saying that they have seen these objects. So now these objects, which I do believe that people, I've never seen them myself, but they do exist. These objects do not run and operate by remote control. So there is a entity that's operating these objects. And so the question is, are these entities among us right now?
So my question, let me ask you this real quick while I got you. Was there ever a point in time where you believed that we were, when I say we, I mean human beings on planet Earth, were the only folks in existence?
No.
Oh, okay. So you're not surprising.
I believe the season that we're coming into is them revealing themselves to humanity. And the question is, how as Black people, we have to decipher whether they are for us, for humanity, or they are against us and they're working with the enemy. So there's a few things that we got to figure out once they do reveal themselves, and which they will. So this will be an issue in the season that's coming up. We will be talking about this.
Got you. Well, I mean, I can't even say we will be talking about this. I think even with the time, you've chosen to take with your call, and joining the conversation and saving space for what we usually like to save space for, which is our word listeners. You're saving space for things that we might want to think about, or we maybe should think about. So I appreciate that. And one thing I will do for those who are like, wait a minute, we talking about aliens, what y'all getting into, what's happening? I'll drop some of the links to the Washington Post. I believe also NBC News. Like, there's been some major news organizations that have been covering why, this may not just be talk, right? When we're talking about UFOs and all of that kind of stuff. So that you can, at least, if nothing else, just be informed, enlightened, educated on that conversation that is happening. I think that's important for us, especially as we continue to see progression on the what level, space travel. I think that's the best way to put it, on the space travel front. Because if we're being honest, right? And I'm gonna I'll even set the whole alien conversation or other being conversation aside. It's been very interesting to me to watch, like, when we talk about SpaceX, when we talk about, some of these recent launches that have taken place, the energy and the effort that has been put into exploring other planets, that are life sustaining, right? And I do believe a part of what is driving, what's motivating those missions is because we have messed up our Earth. We messed up our planet so much that we do need to seek out other options. And that's the messed up part to me, is that we're investing a lot of money in seeking other places to live, explore, etc., basically to colonize, right? But that same energy is, I feel personally, not being given to correct the damage we've caused to the planet we actually occupy. So instead of trying to escape this one, because we know it's headed in a direction in which it's not going to be healthy, it's not going to be prosperous, or whatever else the case may be, for any of us, if we don't take action quick on climate control, change, any of those things, we have whole corporations that are trying to find an escape route and put a price tag on it. Capitalize it, basically, And I have a problem with that. And I don't know. It just doesn't sit right to me. Why are you so focused on trying to find a place to run when you could really put that energy on trying to build a better place, a better home? You don't got to run from home if you make home better. I don't know. It's just me. Call in. Let me know your thoughts. 215-634-8065. Toll free 866-361-0900. If you're tuned in over on Word TV via Facebook Live, do let me know. Whether or not you on a spaceship out of here, if the opportunity and the resources allow. Because if this is how they handle poverty and whatever else the case may be on Earth, I don't know what we think it's about to look like on Mars or anywhere else. If all the rich folks are financing and backing travel to other places, who do you think is about to be left on the Earth that that we all collectively, let me be fair, that we all collectively messed up? Like, what does poverty look like in that instance? Does Earth essentially become the projects? Does Earth essentially become low-income housing? Like, is that how they're viewing it? Is that how it's being approached? Is what's happening on any other planet essentially gentrification? Like, it's not anything new. It's just a new application of the same concepts. Y'all got me coming off of vacation, just doing the most. Anywho, phone lines are open, 215-634-8065 and toll free 866-361-0900. Let me know your thoughts. And while we're on a topic, real quick, I came home to a lot of mail, right? And a lot of the mail that I came home to, shout out to all the folks who got the voting done, but a lot of the mail that I came home to was all about the DA's race, right? And who's backing who and why, and you should back certain candidates and and all of these things, right? All of these things. And, when I was flipping through all of this ish, right? I have never seen any of these kind of mailings about the gun violence. I have never seen any of these mailings about poverty. I have never seen any of these mailings about education. I have never seen any of these mailings about fair jobs. And I only see these mailings when it comes to electing a particular person. And so we have these resources available to send out all of this information and these, whatever about who you should vote for. Where is this energy? Where are these resources? Where's this money? And making sure that we can send out a mailing about how many of our kids are dying each day and what the city is doing to do about that. And, I don't know. It was very weird to me. Even though I know how the machine works and all of that kind of stuff, it was just like, wow, keep the same energy, use the same paper, same stock, it's quality stock and color. Use all of that to get the word out about stuff that actually affects us on days other than May 18th. You're listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio. I'm your host, sincerely, Syreeta. We'll be back after these messages.
Want the latest in Word swag? Check out the shop tab on wordradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on wordradio.com. Show the world that you're all about black. Talk media.
If you haven't had the privilege to use ACAF products, treat yourself. We made it easy for you to shop for good quality essential products with the help of local businesses such as cultural stores, convenience stores, gas stations, and local supermarkets. African Cultural Art Forum, servicing the community since 1969. Find us at acaf.us and at 221 South 52nd Street in Philadelphia.
Beyond the Seams is a husband and wife-owned business providing custom apparel services such as embroidery, screen printing, DTG, and heat transfer. The boutique also showcases local Philly clothing brands and art. Bring your vision to life at Beyond the Seams. Beyond the Seams is located at 828 North Broad Street. Don't forget to follow them on Instagram at BTSPHL. This ad is brought to you by the North Broad Renaissance and Trust Foundation.
Do you have what it tastes to solve Hers Flavor Mix Mystery? One chip, 3 classic Hers flavors, thousands of possible combinations. Pick up a bag of Hers Flavor Mix Mystery and make your guess online today. Your guess could win you $10,000 and a year's supply of Hers. Visit Hers on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more info on how to enter. Solve the mystery. Break out the Hers. No purchase necessary. Legal residents of the 50 United States, DC, 18 years of age and older. Ends 8/31/21. To enter and for official rules, including odds and prize descriptions, visit campaign.rtm.com/Hers Flavor Mix Mystery / void where prohibited.
Lifting every voice till earth and heaven ring. This is Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media. Grab your mic. It's time for Kayla J's karaoke song of the day.
The day you would call, you would say, baby, how's your day? But the day ain't the same. Every other word is yeah, okay. Could it be that you in the crib with another lady? But if you took it there, first of all, let me say that I am not the one to sit around and be played. So prove yourself to me. Girl that you claim, why don't you say the things that you said to me yesterday? And I know you say I'm the same thing. Something's going down, that's the way I see. You shouldn't be the agent that you're acting strange. Nobody's holding you back from me. I know how you used to do. Saying everything to me times 2. Why don't you just tell the truth? Somebody's there, then tell me who. Say my name, but
no one is around you. Say, baby, I love you if you ain't running game.
Say my name, say my name.
You acting kinda shady.
You ain't calling me baby, what a sudden change. Say my name, say my name. No one is around you. Say, baby, I love you if you ain't running games. Say my name, say my name.
You acting kinda shady. You calling me baby, what a sudden change.
What's up with this? Tell the truth, who you with? How would you like it if I came over with my crew? Don't try to change it now, saying you gotta bounce. And 2 seconds ago, so you just got in the house, and now I know you say I'm assuming
Things going down is the way it seems.
shouldn't be the reason that you're acting strange.
Nobody's holding you back from me.
I know how you used to do.
You are back listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio. Listen, all we ask, just say our name. That's it. Just say word. Just say word. That's it. When folks ask you who you listen to, when folks ask you who they should tune into, any of that, just say word name. That's it. WURD Radio. Send them to wordradio.com or the free word app or the Word TV live stream on Facebook, on Word, on Instagram, wherever. We be at where they be at. Just tell them catch us there. Catch us in the streets. How about that? Because you can definitely do that. Anywho, we're back. And with that, I am so thankful to be back doing something that I love. Absolutely. We got some conversations popping on a few different ends, and the call-in lines are open 215-634-8065 and toll free 866-361-0900. Shout out to Carlos, Clarice, Patricia, Malcolm. I'm trying to check in on all the folks that I know, Muhammad, all the folks I know that have been tuned in over on our Facebook live stream, especially my folks. Shout out to Ann, my folks out in Pittsburgh. Y'all know I'm a Pittsburgh girl. Okay, I'm from Pittsburgh. And please do not say Pittsburgh. That's not how you say it. I know it is spelled Pittsburgh, and you better make sure you put the H on it. But when you say it like Pix. It's Pittsburgh.
Okay? Pittsburgh.
Okay?
No.
Period.
Pitts. Because it's the Pitts.
Ooh, you're bringing the north side out of me. You're bringing the north side.
It's the Pitts.
Okay. All I'm saying is put some respect on our name. I know I work at a Black-owned radio station. It's Pennsylvania's only Black-owned radio station, which is Black-owned and operated radio station, which is why I'm thankful to, as a Pittsburgh native, work here in Philly as I've been building and pursuing my dream and, my business and all of that good stuff. I really appreciate the positioning that Word has, especially in the state of Pennsylvania, right? Because we're not just covering Philly or the tri-state area. We're definitely covering the entire state of Pennsylvania and then beyond, right? We're covering the nation. We're covering international. We're bringing all of those stories, all of those perspectives to you, right? And doing that all while being based in Philadelphia. And I think that is super dope. I think I am super blessed to be able to do something like that. And one thing, or to contribute, I should say, to something like that. And one thing that I peeped while I was on vacation is Pittsburgh got something popping, other than a lot of the things that Philly is facing in terms of, gun violence and whatever else. But on the mayoral side, when we talk about elections, we got Ed Gainey, who is looking like he may potentially be the first Black mayor in Pittsburgh. So I'm working to see what my folks are saying back home to see what they feel like this means for the city, because I have to be honest, right? Like I haven't lived in Pittsburgh since 2007. 2007. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I had to do the math real quick. Since 2007, and so I'm not even going to fraud or front. Like I'm completely tapped into what it's been like there. I know a lot of what I've seen is what I've known, and that in itself is not encouraging completely. But and touching base with, family, friends, loved ones who are still in Pittsburgh, it's been interesting reviews about what this could potentially mean for the future of the still city. Um, Given all that I know we have had to navigate, um, especially when it comes to racism, when it comes to oh Lord, it's a lot. That I'm gonna have to save that conversation for another day. I'm gonna have to save that conversation for another day. Um, I believe we'll be able to go a little more in depth later this week. I'm not going to say with who. I'm just going to say that you should definitely tune in, because you're likely going to have a lot of Pittsburgh folks on the call talking about the realness of what's happening there. And yes, I know Philly and Pittsburgh have been at odds for many reasons, not just on the football field, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If we talking about folks who've been locked up, it's a different level of conversations that happen there. Don't ask me how I know. I'm just saying I know. Okay, don't get into all that. There's a lot of reconciling that I think Philly and Pittsburgh needs to do in terms of the Black community, because I think if we can find a way to get on the same page and to not view each other, we could do some things. We could do some things. I'm gonna leave it at that. We could do some things. If Pittsburgh and Philly could join forces entirely, and when I say Pittsburgh and Philly, I mean the Black community in particular, in Pittsburgh and in Philly. If we could do some things, if we can join forces, if we can unite, if we can get on the same page about what it needs to look like in Harrisburg, and what it needs to look like in Philly, and what it needs to look like in Pittsburgh, and like all of those things, we can move a little different. And I think we need to explore that. I think we need to prioritize that. And I don't count it as happenstance that I am a Pittsburgh native who now hosts a radio show in Philadelphia and who loves the city with every part of me, right? So I look forward to where this conversation can go and where our actions will take us from here. For those who are listening who are behind bars, please know we're stronger together. Please know. I don't know if you and I'm not even going to start naming them. Wherever you at, just know we gain more in peace. We gain more in working together. And what we need right now more than ever is for us to get clear on the progress that we want to see for our community, not just behind bars, but in our streets and our offices and our elected official capacities, all of that. We got to have those real conversations, and we have to make that real kind of progress. Elected officials can only do but so much. We know it all starts in the streets, and we need to handle that. and that's on us, period. So anywho, let's go to the phone lines real quick because I got to get to my girl, Joanna Jane, who has been patiently waiting, and I appreciate her, but I know you all have been patiently waiting as well. So I want to go to Maurice on line 3. We're going to go to Maurice on line 3. I see Jacob, I see Rick, I see Carlos. I'm coming to all of you all, and I got to ask everybody to keep it short if you can. Maurice, hello, love. How are you? Thank you for saving space with us today. What's on your mind?
Round table.
Let's do it. Oh, wait, for what?
Harrisburg, Pittsburgh.
Oh, yes.
You do a round table one night, and you have different aspects of the Black community. Have y'all all talking as y'all can night, and maybe y'all can change some things in Harrisburg if we work as one unit.
Listen, I'm here for it. I'm here. Wait,
now, let me get to my other main point.
Right?
Yeah, let me just keep it. Let me keep it short. I've been in all 3 areas and lived there for a while. Okay, as far as being with the prison system. But what I'm saying is, our city elected officials showed us out during that election while you was on vacation.
Ooh,
we only had one.
Here it is. Why do you feel like that's the case?
We only had one elected official, Miss McClellan, who was for Larry Krasner. Everybody else was willing to turn the city over to the FOP. They did not back Larry Krasner. They definitely stayed away, and we had a good chance of losing that. It could have happened, and we would have been under the fist of the FOP. Now, let me get on George Floyd because you got to do it quick. Now, in Philadelphia, since George Floyd has been killed, we done had at least 500 people in Philadelphia die since he died. The thing we got to keep in mind is we recognize Floyd, but we also recognize all the people who have died in the city of Philadelphia from crime. And the worst part of the crime in Philadelphia, 90% of it is black on black. And we need to recognize those peoples too, because we shouldn't only recognize when a white man does something to us. We should recognize when we hate on each other. We need to recognize that and keep that in mind. I don't want to take nothing from the Floyd thing, but let's not just issue things that's out of state. Let's take care of some things that's in state, because I feel the pain every day. Every day I'm walking over a chalk line in my neighborhood. So, let's not forget that we got problems right here in Philadelphia that need to be handled, and we keep passing the buck or finding other things to talk about. What do you say?
You in South Philly, right?
Southwest.
Southwest. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm lucky that Miss McClellan is in my area. She's my state rep. But what I'm saying is, if you go back and check out the history, don't go by what I'm saying. Check it out for yourself. They're all saying it now, but even our city council person did not back Larry Krasner, but she's on Inside Story this weekend talking about, oh yeah, I was for Larry Krasner. She didn't say a word. So you check it out.
Joanna?
Huh?
You talking about Joanna?
What's the last? I don't know people by their first name.
When you said
Joanna McClinton, that's what she's
talking about. McClinton, right?
But McClinton was the one who was our state rep. But I'm talking about our city councilwoman that took Janie Blackwell's place.
Jamie Gauthier.
Kept her mouth shut through the whole election, but she was on Inside Story pretending that she was down for Larry Krasner when she wasn't.
You follow her on social?
I'm sorry?
You follow her on social media?
I don't care about social media. Say it in the public. Say it out to the people. When the people asked her a question, they kept their mouth shut.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you feel like she hasn't done a good job.
The whole Democratic Party did not. The whole Democratic Party did not back Larry Krasner. Miss McClellan was the only one that spoke out.
Do you feel like he should have been backed?
Right, definitely. If we want this equal justice for black people, and black people at least have a level chance when they get caught up in the correctional system, that's the only man you go for. The other guy is all about the FOP. FOP backed him 100%. Do we want that?
So for you, is that the main reason why you feel like we should not, like the city should not have backed him, was because the FOP backed him?
And he tried to deny it. See, if he said, yeah, I'm with the FOP, that's a whole different thing. But when you try to deny all that money they gave you and try to say, oh, no, it ain't got nothing to do with that, you're a liar.
Do you know who else the FOP is backing?
I don't care who they're backing. I know I didn't want them to back him.
Wait. So how are we determining what we care about, who we care about them backing and who we don't? Because if the FOP is backing somebody that you feel like is reputable, does that make a difference?
Yes, it does. He's a detriment to all black. Mr. White right now would be in jail right now.
No, not he. The FOP. Let's say that if the FOP is backing your state representative or your senator, does that make a difference to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And so do you know whether the FOP is backing your senator or your state representative?
I know they're backing city council because they get a check from city council, each and every one of them.
And so if there's any representative that you feel like was behind Krasner, do you know of like any instance where FOP has backed them?
No.
Okay. Is that because you didn't look it up, or is that because?
No, I researched all this. I wouldn't get on. I would respect you too much to get on there with rhetoric. I follow who backed them, and everybody knows. So I think you're the only person that don't know. That's why I'm filling you in now about that the Democratic Party made a statement that they were null and void when it came to who's backing Larry Krasner. They didn't say a word. Matter of fact, they had decided that they were going to be neutral in this race.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you think about that. You think about how we talk about social justice and all that, and our so-called representatives are saying, no, I think we can go back to the days of Lynn Abraham. I think that's pretty good.
Okay. So what is it in this moment that you think I should learn?
In this moment, you should know that they have betrayed us. Our so-called state officials, city officials who say they back us about social justice and worrying about what happens to blacks. They really don't. Because they did, they would have went on the Larry Krasner side. Not because he's the greatest man ever. Ain't nobody DA going to be perfect. But the point of is the difference between voting between Biden and Trump. They went with Trump.
Okay. Any resources that you would provide for, I don't know, someone like me who does not know what.
All you got to do is go back over the week before you left and find, and it's all in the news. Who backed who backed the FOP, who is down for going back to the way it was, how you kind of blame all the crime on Larry Krasner when he just prosecutes, when the police commissioner is in charge of catching the criminals, but she wasn't doing her job either. She got over 400 bodies under her detail. Now,
just to be specific, who?
Who do you blame? The person that's supposed to catch them or the person supposed to prosecute them? You got to be able to catch them before you prosecute them.
You said she, so I just want to make sure for folks who are listening that, like me, are trying to learn in this moment, may not know who you're saying.
No, I'm just telling you, I'm making a statement, but you need to do your own research. Don't go by what I say. I could be crazy right now. But I'm just hip to if you go ahead and do your research, you'd be like, oh, wow, I didn't know it was like that because not one of them backed him. It was a big statement about how they didn't back Larry Krasner. They listened. They had a meeting in the Democratic Party. How you don't back the incumbent?
So real quick, I just want to make sure because I'm looking at Black women leaders support Krasner. As far as council members, you said who's the council member in your district?
I can't never. Gaudier. I'm sorry. I got it now. Gaudier. She was on Nice Story this weekend.
Okay. So
they're like, I backed Larry. She ain't say a peep. No one.
So I'm gonna just stop and correct you there. For those who are tuned in over on Word TV via Facebook Live, you can see a mailing I received in my mailbox that is titled "Black Women Leaders Support Krasner," and the Black women who are listed here is Morgan Cephas, Sherelle Parker, Kendra Brooks, Catherine Gilmore Richardson, Jamie Gauthier, Maria Canones Sanchez, Isabella Fitzgerald, and Joanna McClinton.
I want to close with this because I want to give
And the
Jacob
faces
a chance
are
to
on
get
the
on.
picture. They have the quote from
Listen.
people.
Listen, that's the 52 fake out that they always do. Remember when they said they were going to stop them Bateman? What they did, they had a city hall meeting and put 3 more years on it. That's the fake out.
Wait, where you just shift to? We're not talking about that. We're talking about Krasner.
I'm just giving you an example of the betrayal.
But did you do it or did she not? You said they did. You said they wasn't saying nothing, but you said she didn't say nothing. But she put her face on it.
No, that's what they call down City Hall a cover letter. None of them came out and promoted the man. They put that statement out, but most of us don't read. So we're not getting the message. You go on and say, yeah, I'm back to Larry Krasner.
It's on us?
Yes, it is. That's why we got the same old time.
Okay, so it's not about them then. So your comment is not about them, it's about us.
It's about us and them. We just got to realize that these people don't have our best interest. If they did,
I just want to make sure. I want to make sure, we all clear on what's what. Because Maurice, I love you. I just got to make sure, everybody know what's what, who said what. Because I mentioned a little earlier, and I know we got to move on to our next caller, but I mentioned a little earlier that like I came home to a lot of mailings about a lot of things, and seeing this was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see the enthusiasm behind all that is tied to this race that just took place. And I was saying like, wow, how can we use these resources to like keep folks better informed on what's happening with our community, right? And what would that look like to have these kind of mailings about like anything else tied to gun violence or whatever else the case may be. But I do want to make sure that I do my due diligence and acknowledging, especially after that call, that there's things out here that have been said, and it's not just on this. I have seen other publications that have seen quotes from folks. So I think I just gotta, in that part, do my research and say a little bit about a little something. All right. But also to Maurice's point, make sure you do your research, because if you don't, somebody will say that you didn't. Let's go to Jacob on line 1. Jacob, what's going on, brother Jacob?
Hey, peace be unto you. Welcome home, Sister Syreeta.
Thank you. By the grace of God, I appreciate it.
Hey, look, that Virginia area, it means my father was born in Norfolk, and I had grandmother, grandfather. I got my grandmother raised 2 of my sisters, so every year we used to go down to the Norfolk area, with Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Hampton, all that area, And I used to love, because when I used to tour playing music, when I was with the Delphonics, Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes, and Ain't No Stopping Us, we used to always do them venues, and I could always go and visit my sisters, my grandmother, So it was a great thing. That area is a good area, right? But look, I'm gonna make it real quick about this ET thing, right? Earth, Wind, and Fire. Earth, Wind, and Fire had a record, Keep Your Head to the Sky, right? But let me say this here. We gonna watch what's happening on this damn earth, because every time they get a chance, they send us into outer space and they run the earth. Nah, let me say this here: as my God created the heavens and the earth, right, and He rules it all, I'm like Bernie Mac. I ain't scared of none of you extraterrestrials. Bernie Mac said it real good. As I repeat, as my Lord is the God and the creator of the heavens and the earth, I ain't scared of none of y'all, okay? Bernie Mac said it. So, let us not let them keep jerking us from thing to thing. And just
but Jacob, is that not scared on Earth of none of y'all, or is that not scared on Mars from none of y'all?
Look, wherever it is, I ain't scared of none of them. And if they so bad, show yourself. All this old secret and you can't see it and it flies. Come on, man. Ain't nothing secret about nothing. If you got something, come with it because the earth needs you. And if not, go to hell back to Xenon where you come from. Okay? But again, I repeat, as my God created the heavens and the earth, and he rules it all, as Bernie Mac said, and I wish I could say it exactly like him.
We can't say it like he said.
Well, you know what I'm saying. But I ain't scared of none of y'all. But thank
I'm
you.
right there with you.
Welcome home. Peace.
Oh my gosh, that was the best welcome. That was the best welcome, Jacob. Oh man, thank you so much for that. Listen, this is why I love to save space because y'all know what we do, how we do it. Kayla J, can I take one more call? Should I go to break? Because I know I didn't did too much already. It's on me. It's on me.
I guess we can do one more than break, but we got to make sure we get our guest on.
Oh yeah. No. And thank you, Joanna Jane, because we got to get to this money. We got to talk about this. So with that, y'all bringing the energy on this here Monday, and I'm here. This is what's keeping me motivated on this Monday. Let's go to Rick online too. Rick, thank you so much for choosing to save space with us. What's on your mind?
First of all, you talked about reopening America.
Yeah.
I think, you should get that book by John Barry, The Great Influenza. And second, I think it's going to be a 5-year pandemic. Removing the mask, I think it's too soon. I think what's happening in India and what's happening in China is going to create so many variants that Africa and Brazil and South America, they won't be able to withstand the variants coming to them and moving on to us here in America. So I think while America is saying, yeah, it's safe enough to reopen, I think the average Black person had better think twice.
Is that the average Black person in America or in the world?
In the world.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure because, one thing at work we definitely are mindful of is the African diaspora and these conversations. Like, yes, we are based in Philadelphia. And so therefore we're not just, having these conversations from a regional perspective, but looking at them from a nationwide perspective. But then taking it further and thinking about what this means for all of our folks around the globe. So, Rick, I appreciate you for contributing that perspective to the conversation, because that is most certainly something we need to keep in mind.
And if you can, get that book, The Great Influenza, John Barry.
Okay. Yeah, no, I had to pull up my notes on my phone to make sure I jotted that down. So
all right,
we'll definitely check that out and appreciate you for that. And I would just, kind of keeping with Rick's energy, encourage us. And it's not necessarily tied to, pandemic or influenza, but definitely to liberation, to, freedom fights and movements and what's happening around the globe. If you may have missed it, on the international front, there was a UK Black activist, or is, I should say, a UK Black activist who's in critical condition after being shot in the head. She received multiple death threats. She was a key figure in the Black Lives Matter movement over in Europe. And so this is still a developing story. But, folks are very much paying attention to what happened, how it happened, why it happened. Folks do not necessarily believe that she was the intended target, but they're still just trying to figure out what is going on nonetheless. Just know that the push for freedom, the struggle for freedom, whether it's through systemic oppressive conditions or not, is happening. And I can't even say or not, because in some way it's all tied to that, right? So it is happening, not just here, but internationally. We know out in Jersey there was a mass shooting that happened. We know that the list goes on, unfortunately, in terms of what we face, not only within our community, but outside of our community, in terms of violence and so many other things that are affecting us. And again, it all goes back to the very purpose of why we meet each other here every Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m., right? To turn our intentions into action through conversation. And so, given that today is a Monday, and yes, I am back from vacation. Maybe you are or are not, but I think it would do us all well to set a shared intention for this week about what we want for our people, right? Not just for our families, not just for our lives, not just something so personal or I guess it's all personal though when you think about it, but just a shared intention for what we want at bare minimum this week for our folks. Call in, let me know what your intention is, what you would like our shared intention to be for our folks this week. 215-634-8065, toll free 866-361-0900. Again, 215-634-8065 and toll free 866-361-0900. Going to take a quick break. You're tuned in to Safe Space on WURD Radio. I'm your host, sincerely, Syreeta. Back at it. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi, Word family. My name is Kim Hall Jackson, and I am a colorectal cancer survivor. If I can convince one person to get a screening, then I know my voice is making a difference. Go to WURDradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner and get your Fit Kid test today.
Word Radio has partnered with the Colorectal Cancer Alliance, Independence Blue Cross Foundation, Penn Medicine, and LabCorp to provide a free at-home screening test for colon cancer. All Word listeners can register for a free at-home screening test as a part of the Go to Know campaign. This campaign is designed to provide African Americans with free testing for early colon cancer screening. Colon cancer can be prevented, and early detection saves lives. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner to request your free test today.
Are you looking for a job? WURD has got you covered. We just launched a brand new job portal featuring jobs from some of Philadelphia's leading companies and art organizations. Visit the portal right now to see jobs from Word Radio, the Kimmel Center, Her Foods, Always Best Care, and more. Apply today. Visit our livelihood website at wordworks.com. That's WURDworks.com and click jobs. The Black Words Book Club. Word Radio's conversation on books that explore the African American experience through social, economic, and environmental justice issues. Tune in the second Tuesday of every month on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. The next book for June is Taught by Women, Poems as Resistance Language by Hakeem Adabuti. Be sure to listen live as Nick Taliaferro will hold a contest for a giveaway book bundle that consists of 4 titles from Kensington's Defina's Authors of Color's newest release. Don't miss it, Tuesday, June 8th on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Attention for Word members. Get your copy and receive a 20% discount when you purchase at Harriet's Bookstore or Hakeem's Bookstore. For more information on the Black Words Book Club, visit wordradio.com. The Black Words Book Club is sponsored by Defina. Defina is an imprint of Kensington Publishing Corporation, America's independent publisher, concentrating on authors of color.
Buying something from a dealer just sounds a bit, well, put it like this. My cousin Ray Ray got arrested for buying something from a dealer. So why would you want to buy your car from a dealer? Hi, everybody. This is Nick inviting you to buy your next car from Jerry over at Cardex. See, they're not dealers. They're like a car concierge service. They design a car around you. Almost any make. If it's not on the lot, they'll go out and get it for you. So use my car concierge, where I've already bought 4 cars. Cardex at 116 East Glenside Avenue in Glenside, Pennsylvania. Check them out online at cardexinc.com. Or call Cardex at 215-886-3230.
Save Space with Sincerely Syreeta. Right now on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Put your leg down. Put your leg down. Put your hand down. Stop dancing. I see you. I know you because the song will bring it out in us. We know. We know. Anywho, it's Money Monday, y'all. That means it's time for Coins of Conversation with Joanna Jane, our licensed financial professional and friend to the show. If you don't know, every week, Joanna Jane joins us as part of our livelihood initiative to provide us with financial tips, tricks, and tools that are needed to thrive. Okay, so get ready for a great segment. And also know that you can head to WordWorks, that's WURDworks.com, to check out some of the latest resources and job postings that we have on deck for you right now. Okay, because you're going to get to the bag right now. And definitely want to give a special shout out to AARP Fraud Watch Network for making this financial literacy segment hosted. I guess I should say co-hosted by Joanna Jane Possible. And so Joanna Jane, hey girl, hey, how are you?
Hi everybody, I'm doing great. Welcome back, Syreeta. Hey, Kayla J.
Listen, I'm walking it. I'm slow walking it back. So thankful.
You look like you had a great time.
I did. Listen, the highlight, there were a lot of highlights, but one of the highlights was being able to just take pictures on my deck. That was it. If y'all follow me on social media, I just took pictures each day of whatever, whatever fit, whatever lay I had on that day. I took pictures of it because I really wasn't out in these streets too much. I might have went to a farmer's market. And then that was the first time I went to a restaurant, and sat down in a long time. So that was a new experience. But Joanna Jane, I will say what it did cause me or motivate me to think about is finances and how we view them or approach them when the world is reopening.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of us who have not been spending money because we couldn't spend money because we couldn't go outside, that's about to change. So I do want to touch base with you about that because I think we need to prepare our folks for that. But I know you also have, some other really important things that we need to get to. But if you could just take a minute, like a whole 160-second minute to get up for the kind of spending that folks might be tempted to engage in because of that outside is opening back up. I think that would be responsible of us.
Oh yeah, when they said hot girl summer, it went further than just a hot girl. They talking about hot pockets, hot cash.
Hot pocket.
And I'm not talking about food, but this is, things are opening back up. Governors are lifting regulations. We're finally able to be outside. I was meeting with a colleague earlier today for some business over coffee, and he was sharing with me, what the Sixers game looked like yesterday, and with Xfinity being open and, all that jazz. So I just want people to be mindful of the things that you recognize through the pandemic. I'll wrap it up in less than 60 seconds. Remember everything that you have been learning through the pandemic. Remember the shock that you felt when you couldn't go to work, if you lost your job. Remember what that was. Don't lose that. Don't make that seem like it was 10, 15 years ago. That was literally just a couple months ago. So don't lose sight of that. Still operate with a budget, still contribute to your emergency fun. Commit to your goals. If you need to go back and listen to our Money Mondays and, do that on Facebook Live, you can go back and listen to those things. Don't forget about the shock that you felt when you were like, oh my goodness, I may not get a paycheck next month and I don't even have enough money saved. Don't forget that, because it wasn't that long ago. And I'll bring wisdom and have fun at the same time, but just don't forget. Don't forget.
Okay, because I'm gonna be honest. It looked like a lot of these brunches been popping. Okay, and I'm not hating. I'm not mad at it at all. And if you ever want to DoorDash me a brunch, you feel free to, and Joanna Jane as well. But that aside, though, okay, just don't underestimate how much those expenses will start to add up, because you haven't been doing that for over a year, right? So, life comes at you fast. That's one of my favorite sayings. Life comes at you fast, and you need to be mindful of how fast it can happen, especially when you have a world that is reopening and travel and prices that are going through the roof and whatever else the case may be. Like, you just, it would do us all well to be mindful of that, especially for those of us who are intentional about building generational wealth. We don't want to play and get caught up with that. All right. So that aside, though, Joanna Jane, want to get into, because one thing I have seen during the pandemic is the power of crowdfunding. I've seen it with businesses. It's gotta say, specifically Black-owned businesses, and how we have shown up for each other through crowdfunding. But for you, is there anything that you feel like we need to understand about crowdfunding when it comes to Black-owned businesses, or just the power of it in general?
Absolutely. So I'm going to take us through a quick lesson. I'm going to give us some facts that we really need to know first, because I don't want people to look at this as just as somebody's asking you for money. It's so much bigger than that. And this is something that corporate companies have been doing for decades, centuries. So this is not new. It's really, Syreeta, being more open to us now, but this is not new. So I want people to really think about this from a group economic standpoint, and not as someone's begging you to invest. It's actually an opportunity for us to grow our communities. So just some facts to know. Prior to 2012, April 5th to be exact, for about 80 years, private companies could only raise money from accredited investors. And let me break down what accredited investor means. An accredited investor is an individual or institution that has a net worth of $1 million, not counting their primary residence, so not counting any property. Their net worth is $1 million. So I'll say that again. Prior to 2012, for approximately 80 years, private companies could only raise money from accredited investors. In 2012, President Obama enacted the Jobs Act, allowing entrepreneurs to have a seat at the table. This now allowed them to advertise their capital raises. And when I'm talking about capital raises, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about money that they're going to raise to start various businesses, whether it be clothing, beauty, real estate, any of those things. This is what we're talking about. And this happened in 2016 is when it actually fully went into effect, where private early stage companies, so in short, your startup, newbie companies, for the most part, were able to raise capital. This then allowed their customers to turn into investors. So we're talking about your companies that are not necessarily your Fortune 500, but they do well in the local community. Maybe they may be even a franchise, for all you know. They have started to allow those companies to provide the opportunity for their customers to become investors. Initially, and I touched on this, I think it was right before you went on vacation, Syreeta. Initially, when regulation crowdfunding came about, the max that you were able to raise as a business entity was 1.07 million, right? As of March 15th of this year, they have now raised that They've raised that limit. And you were only able to raise that money within a 12-month period. So if your startup company needed more money than that, or if your startup company just required more money than it, depending on what level of business that you were in, you were capped at how much you were really able to raise. Now, as of March 15th, that number has increased to $5 million. And I said I was going to come
This
in.
is a big jump.
Yeah, hello, right?
Wait a minute.
Yes. And
So
I said I was going to come back
1.5
on here to share about this because I really need us to hear these opportunities. If you are a medical inventor, if you are a creative and you have ideas, you have things that you have been working on, you have sales history, you have a dynamic team, this is a window where you can get with the right people, the right coaches, and provide an opportunity to turn your current customers into investors in your business. And you do not have to be named Target, Apple, or any other public company on the mainstream. Now, this is where it plays a benefit for, as we would sometimes call your common investors, or they will call them your non-accredited investors. And I hope y'all are taking notes because I don't have time to really stop. Your non-accredited investors, these are people that make less than $200,000 a year. So that's a nice amount of people. So there's room at the table, guys. With that being said, this is where you can be able to get in. So you can be able to invest in these type of companies that have raises under the regulation of CF, regulation crowdfunding, where you can be able to invest at max $2,200 or whichever is greater, which means 5% of your income. So if your income is great, if 5% of your annual income is greater than $200, then $2,200, then you can be able to invest more. If it's anything other than that, you're maxed at $2,200. But that's still not bad for someone to be able to invest in a company and get some really good returns. If you make more than $107,000, but less than $200,000 annually, meaning, again, you're not an accredited investor, you can be able to invest 10% of your annual income. So in short, guys, there is room at the table. And what I really want you to think about, because someone's probably thinking, Syreeta, oh my gosh, $2,000 or $2,200, that's still a lot. Yes, maybe for some people, but for some people that maybe you're in a little bit of a surplus right now. We've talked about, how some people were trying to figure out how they can be strategic and allow some of this money that we're receiving and during this pandemic, how can we be smart with it? Well, are there companies out there that have opportunities where you can, really not, I guess maybe we want to use the word flip. It might be another word for that I can't come to mind, but this is a platform where you could be able to take advantage of it. I want to give a couple other things here because I want to make this specific to an article, Syreeta, that if you want to drop that anywhere in the chat, feel free to do so. I want people to understand, how does this play specifically for Black people? Well, one of the things that we often...
Real quick. With the information that you just dropped, what's the potential risk for folks who may want to explore investing in that way?
So you should never invest money that you can't afford to lose.
Okay.
That's a rule of thumb. I would say that whether we were talking about investing in cell phone companies, tech companies, or a clothing line, don't invest money that you can't afford to lose.
Okay. All right. Yeah. As long as I know the risk, I feel
Right.
a little bit more informed about what's
Right.
what. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But you also have to know, with no risk, there's no reward. So what I tell people
too.
Right, absolutely. So what I tell people is this: if you are happy 1,000% with your current financial situation today, then this message doesn't apply to you. But if you are looking for an opportunity to maximize on what you currently have, you're looking to create generational wealth, you're looking to be able to support the businesses right in your backyard, this may be something for you to entertain. That part I am saying. And when we hear about some of the challenges that we see within the Black community, which specifically is, Syreeta, we don't really have access like that to your multi-million-dollar institutional investor or just that wealthy person that can be able to write that $1 million plus check. We don't. So what this really does, it allows us to break the barriers that are often found within our communities. We're able to decrease economic inequality, and we're able to support our own community. This now takes it away from us waiting all the time on government grants, waiting for rules to be passed, at the White House. This allows us to say on a regulated platform, I might add, how we can be able to pool our resources together, be the customer and be the investor. And on average, from what I've read, from just Seed Invest, which is a platform that people can look at for opportunities to invest in different businesses, on average, from their reports, these companies have been able to raise around $415,000 for a Black-owned business, and this is minority-led. Let me be clear. From this average for a minority-led company in 2020, the average report was $415,000.
Okay.
So something definitely to think about. And as I'm speaking about this, Syreeta, I personally am using this as a way to be able to restore neighborhoods. Right now, we're starting this in the city of Baltimore, but it is a national capital campaign that our company is actually doing. We launched this coming up on 2 weeks ago now, and we're actually raising $1.6 million. Now this allows for people that are either in that neighborhood, those that want to see, growth in an inner city that, they connect to in some shape or form, or those that are looking for tax advantages. They could be able to not only just, support us by sharing things online, or those homeowners that are looking to purchase our properties, but now you can even invest in the same development that's happening in your backyard. And we put it on a national platform because we want people all over, the U.S. to be able to invest and take advantage of the return. So what I'm sharing today, this is something that I've been working on with my attorneys and my team for over a year, and was waiting for the right time to be able to provide this opportunity for our people. So for my company, we're not only, as they would say, hashtag buying the block, we're also educating our people through our financial and housing counseling program. And now, as of 2 weeks ago, we've opened the platform for people to also reap some of the reward that comes along with that.
Okay. All right. So I know we're getting super short on time. Got to wrap this up probably in 30 seconds. But I think it is important to emphasize the benefits of crowdfunding. I have benefited from crowdfunding. My folks showed out. Our folks, I should say, showed out and made it possible for me to even become an entrepreneur and to build my business. And, just in turn, serve my community in doing so. And I think, we can't take the power of crowdfunding for granted, because that is so much of who we are in general and how we operate, y'all. We've been crowdfunded. Like, don't let the term fool you. When we talk about village economics, when we talk about like those kind of things, it's crowdfunding. It's everybody contributing to a business or a person, whatever, that you feel can do right by the community, can empower the community, educate, whatever it may be, whatever that business is, right? They can pour back into it. And so even this idea of crowdfunding, to be honest, for our community, is really not anything new. It's just a new way of doing it. So Joanna Jane, before we got to get ready to let you go, let us know a bit about what you have going on the crowdfunding front, and like how we can support, but then also how other folks can like get in on crowdfunding. Because I know I did it through GoFundMe and was able to my business, and it's taken off since doing that. But for you, what has that been?
So there's a couple websites that I'll offer first before I share about mine. People can look into websites such as And these are SEC regulated, ladies and gentlemen, Securities Exchange Commission. So this is federally regulated site, which you should be using if you're going to be doing any type of crowdfunding. There's Honeycomb, there's Mainvest, and there's also Seed Invest, just to give you a couple. For us specifically, O'Hara Developments, we're on smallchange.co. That's smallchange.co. One of the things that I liked about Small Change when I was doing my research is that they are very much a socially conscious platform. So these are projects that really have sincere meaning behind it that I was able to connect to. Even the questions that they asked us before we were even allowed to offer anything on our platform was just very wow, they're very intentional about who they want to provide any type of investment opportunity. So you can go to smallchange.co. If you go under minority-led projects or woman-led projects, you will see our development site there. You'll see my picture with a picture of our neighborhood in the background. We are a opportunity zone fund, so we provide very attractive tax incentives, which I can go through. I don't want another show, Syreeta, but
right, we gotta get into that. Another show.
We provide a lot of attractive returns. Everything literally is there. All of our company information. We're a completely transparent, open book. The minimum to invest in our company is $2,000. I tell people, don't let the number scare you, because if you have 4 friends with $500 each, you can create your own entity and then invest in a company like mine. So again, pulling your sources together and really thinking about, what could this be for, the bigger picture. And to be quite honest with you, outside of really wanting, obviously, for people to support what we're doing, I want people to see that if Joanna Jane could do it, so can you. If you have a vision, if you have a mission in mind that you want to be able to execute, this is another way that this can be done. And you're not waiting for a grant application to be approved. And you're really, and not knocking grants, but we all know that can be very tedious. I'm just saying this is another way that you can, again, turn your customer into an investor. So for us, we wanted folks to be able to not only, support our neighborhood by being homeowners, but also see how they could be investors as well and provide that opportunity across the country. So go to smallchange.co.
All right, there you have it. Small Change. That's CHANGE, like change in your pocket. Smallchange.co /projects / it's a lot. It's a lot. Just go to smallchange.co. Shout out to Joanna Jane for joining us once again, especially me coming off vacation and her hopping right back in, being ready. Got the call, was ready to go, knew what we needed to discuss. Just being on the job every time. That's just what she does. That's just it. So make sure you follow at The Real Joanna Jane across social media platforms. Shout out to O'Hara Development. Please make sure you check out O'Hara Dev, right? DEV, right? As in development, right? Check them out on social media and website platforms. And with that said, we are over. It's time to get ready to get out of here so that we can make space and save space for the one and only, the Rev himself, right? Make sure you stay tuned for Al Sharpton and what we have coming up next. Also, if you missed it somehow, please do make sure you are tuned in tomorrow for our special commemoration as we recognize and honor and just give the best of our energy to commemorating, I should say, the death of George Floyd. We had a day of healing. We have special programming that is in place, not only on Word Radio, but right here on Safe Space as well. If you haven't already, Follow WURD Radio across all social media platforms and YouTube to stay in the know about what that programming looks like. Keep your dials locked to 96.1 FM, 900 AM. And with that said, we're right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for another edition of Safe Space. Shout out to my girl Kayla J, holding down the phone lines, the board, and everything in between. Until we're right back here, God willing, tomorrow. Just know, sincerely, Syreeta here, reminding you to taste your words before you feed them to someone else. And always, 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 y'all, empathize, empower, and evolve. Peace.
Know that you can, baby. You could, baby. We'll be riding, trying to conquer the world, but darling, you can't change it. You can't change it. Riding on, you know that you can't last. They asking who can save me? Who can save me? Who can save me? Know that you can, baby. Know that you can. Nah, 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 nah. Love pays, yeah, but love taxes. Oh.
This is not a fad for us. We will not resume our